Balakrishnan, Assistant Professor, Alahappa Institute of Skill Development, Alagappa University, Karaikudi. I welcome you, sir. Secondly, I would like to extend my gratitude towards our principal, Reverend Sister C. Jodi Mary, for encouraging and guiding us when we required. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to our Vice Principal, Reverend Sister Dr. Sabine Mary, for her gracious support. Finally, I would thank our HOD, Mrs. S. Punita Mary, for giving us her support as well as the complete creative freedom. Last but not least, I feel honored to welcome all the participants of this program. I am sure that you will feel enriched with knowledge after completion of this event and hope that you will have a great time ahead. Thank you, one and all. Now, I call upon our resource person, Dr. C. Balakrishnan, to handle the session.
Thank you, madam. A pleasant good morning to you all. And it's my great pleasure to present myself on this very good webinar, virtual teaching environment. I take this opportunity to thank Sister Principal and all other administrators of IDEA College and the head of the Department of Computer Applications and all the faculty members of Computer Applications of IDEA College for Women and all the participants. And very good morning to you all. And madam, can you make it as a co-host to share my screen, please?
I will make you.
Yeah. And it's a great pleasure to me on this day to see several participants, and I hope some of them would come a little later. And during this COVID-19 lockdown situation, we the teachers are in a position to think about our actions in the post-COVID-19 situation, so that we have to be ready to face the newer challenges. Perhaps we are facing challenges in every day, in every class, I hope. But still, we have to be ready to make ourselves as very good enough with technologies and tools to meet the requirements of virtual teaching and learning environment. Because we don't know how our future of classroom would change. Because maybe the normal course of classrooms may be started in a month or so, and so that we can make ourselves to handle the situation. Excuse me, madam, still I cannot share my screen.
Sir. Now you can proceed, sir.
Yeah. No, I think still I am not able to share my screen, madam. Sorry. I think my name is little above. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, madam.
Okay, sir.
Okay. I hope you can see my screen, no? Hello.
Yes,
can
sir.
you see my screen? Yes, madam.
We are able to see the screen, sir.
Yeah, madam. Thank you. And first of all, I would like to tell a disclaimer. I'm not a external person. I'm just one among you. And here I'm not going to anything lecture. Rather than just to discuss our common matters in the classroom and how the technological tools can help to become our environment as virtual. And our pedagogy has evolved so much from the Gurukula system to classroom and Blackboard, so on. And later on, some kind of classroom environment. And later on, some kind of ICT tools being incorporated into the teaching learning environment. So we make it as a ICT based teaching and learning. Later on, now we are practicing. Every student has been given a system in the lab, and we are having a projection facility, so that hands-on training has been very easily provided to the students. And this is how our pedagogy has been evolved. But however, there are so much of problems in the day-to-day teaching environment. And there was a study to learn about the problems of teachers, current teachers. And they find that there are so much of issues in front of the teachers of today. So the first and foremost issue is inspiring the students to be self-directed. So they found more than 85% of respondents have told that the problem of inspiring students to become self-directed is a very important thing. And learning outcomes and improving the learning outcomes and personalizing the teaching environment for students. And the fourth one is very important, getting students to do their work outside of the classroom. The virtual environments are going to help to sort out the problems of to make our students to be self-directed and make our students to do their work outside of the classrooms, because we cannot impart everything in the 1 hour or so in a day. So we have to make them to use their tools in the later portion of classroom, that is outside of the classroom. So ultimately, our aim is to make our students to be self-directed and to do their work outside of the classroom. So this is the case they found. And I'm not here to find any faults among the students. Rather, I have to tell you mindset of the students of today's classroom. And most of the students of incurious, whatever we say, they are thinking that why I have to learn this one, why, in what way it is going to help in my future, and so on. So this is they are not curious enough to learn the basics and fundamentals of matters. And this is another case in our situation. And most of the students are something uncontrolled manner. So which means that so they cannot they are not listening to us. And this is another case of student mindset. And the another thing is this is the most common phenomena in our environment. That is, students are bored. Excuse me, madam. Someone has told that there is no audio in YouTube. Maybe check. Thank you, madam.
Yes, sir.
And the students maybe kind of both situation. All the matters are pertaining to that interest of the students, and we are in a position to induce them to be more interested. So this is another phenomena in our classroom situation, and this is maybe a situation where the students are not interested to listen to us. They may be mostly unlistened, and the case is physically present and mentally absent. So in all the cases, there is no problem of the issue with students, and the problem is we are in a position to induce them to be more self-directed and more interested. This is the case that are in our situation, and so maybe what would be the remedy? Maybe somebody would say the digital replacement of conventional pedagogy will solve the problems, and which may create interest among the students, and so on. Will it be a correct one? And let's see. And we are having good infrastructure. Still, we have to move a long way to reach good IT infrastructure. Somehow, we are in a third position, third largest online market after China and USA. So we are, and nowadays we are seeing so much of people are using internet and internet-based things, tools and devices. So this is a kind which leads our hope for an increase in the use of digital technologies in the education field. And another important thing is that in 21st century, learning environment increasingly incorporate digital elements in our educational environment. In particularly during the past few months, from March 2020 onwards, we are in a position to make use of the digital elements in our thing. And I can say before or prior to March 2020, we are in a position to pick the digital devices, that is phones and laptops, from our children, that is our son and daughter. And now we are in a position to buy them new mobile devices for them to attend their classes. So this is some kind of transformation has been done due to the problem of COVID-19. And according to me, at present, who is the enabler to search of new pedagogies? Either institutions or teachers or stakeholders like parents and students or technology. So I think who can be the enabler of this in a situation of finding new pedagogy? So according to me, this one, the COVID-19 is the new enabler of finding new kind of pedagogical tools and options, because the unseen or invisible matter changes a lot in our thing, in our situation. So we are in a position to change our pedagogical patterns to meet out the future challenges or future requirements. And we cannot, no one can predict the future transformation of pedagogical patterns. So we would be ready to make use of the digital tools. So, and like you may see this picture, there are empty seats of classroom, and still the teacher, that is, we have to take classes in front of the computer and to telecast the matter to the students. and students are in a position to learn themselves to that is remotely, that is out of our classroom environment. So we have to bring good infrastructure or good environment, learning environment to the mobile devices of students, so that their psychological matters should not affect, and to learn the matters as they are in a classroom situation. So this is our current situation. We are in a position to make ourselves to be more updated with digital tools. And for this, I'm going to take. I have to tell you, we cannot make a ban of digital devices in the classroom or outside the classroom, and we have to have a plan to make the digital devices to be more useful, and to be more better learning or teaching tool for the students. So this is what the case of the students. And madam, am I audible?
Sir. Audible,
Yes,
sir.
yes, madam. I think there are some people waiting in the Zoom. I think you can admit them. Thank you.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay, sir.
And the solution is we have to be adaptive, more adaptive with virtual teaching environment. There are various technologies and tools available in the virtual teaching environment or virtual learning environment. Collectively they call it as the LMS, learning management system. So where there are like Zoom and other applications, that is Google Meet, they provide an environment to project ourselves, to interact with the students by means of video lectures or chatting and so on. And there are a lot of other tools available in the IT industry, so that we have to make ourselves adaptive, more adaptive, to make use of this matter. So with this introduction, I think I can go into our actual business for today's webinar. So today I'm taking these two platforms, that is both are very famous, the LMS, that is learning management systems, how they are going to help for make our teaching environment as a virtual one, that is Google Classroom and Moodle. So I'm going to give, I'm planning to give some kind of hands-on session, so that I can make more better. So with this introduction, I think I can move to the matter. Okay, let's we take the first one, that is Google Classroom. Google Classroom is a service provided by the Google, and it is a web-based service, and there is no need of kind of installation or some other purchase of matter. And so far it is being provided as a kind of maybe a free one, but later on we don't know how much they are going to make it as free or something else. So this is the case of where the Google Classroom is there. So the primary purpose of Google Classroom is to streamline the process of sharing files between the teachers and students. More importantly, the Google Classroom is teacher-centered matter. So the teachers are be the center for focal point, and they have to create their own classroom. Whereas in the second case of Moodle, Moodle can be either teacher centered or institution centered, and the Moodle can be used as a kind of global learning management situation for the entire matter of classroom. Whereas the Google Classroom, the teacher has to create their own classroom, and they have to invite the students. And whereas with Moodle kind of matters, they have to, the matter behind Moodle is the institution can create their learning environment so that the teachers and students can interact themselves. So this is the basic difference between Google Classroom and Moodle. Whereas the both Google Classroom and Moodle platform are having their own features as well as characteristics, as well as limitations also. I will discuss as much as possible. Right. And I think I can change my screen to give a demo of Google Classroom. Madam, can you see my screen? That is browser.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can able to see, sir.
Yeah, madam. Thank you. And the very important thing is to create this Google Classroom. You have to have a Google Gmail account. You have to type classroom.google.com. This is the URL for, and I'm just slow, I know, but with the keeping in mind of new persons to this technology, I'm just slow for a while. And this is the URL for Google Classroom, classroom.google.com.
Excuse me, sir. Sir?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Sir, we can't able to see your hands on screen, sir.
Screen, no? Okay.
Yes, sir.
This one? Is this one?
Not at
The browser.
No, sir. We can't
No,
able
okay.
to see. Sir.
Okay. I will. Now, madam? What about now, madam?
Okay, sir.
Right. And you for creating a class, you have to type this URL, that is classroom.google.com. That is classroom.google.com. In this browser, I have already logged in with my email ID, so which will looks like this. Or otherwise, if I am this would be the first screen when you type classroom.google.com in your web browser. So in this case, you have to be very clear whether you are using a personalized Gmail account or kind of Gmail account provided by the institution domain. That is, maybe your username @gmail.com is the personalized Gmail account, or in the other case, the username your institution domain ID, that is alagappa university.ac.in, like this. So this is the case. We are having two email IDs. This class has been created with my personalized Gmail account, and this class has this environment is for with my institutional Gmail account. In this case, the first and foremost matter they would ask is whether you have to pick your role, that is either as a student or as a teacher. I think you can screen this, see this screen, no? Screen, no, madam? Hello.
Sir,
Yes, madam. Can you see this screen?
yes, sir, we can able to see.
Yes, madam. Okay. So in this case, if you are pick this role as a teacher, there will be a problem. I have to tell you, and because whatever the email IDs created with the institutional domain, by default you will be assigned as a student role. You cannot pick as a teacher. You cannot pick as a teacher. So you have to be informed. You have to be informed to your admin to make you as a teacher. So they have to change your role in the groups. So this is one they have to do. So you should be very clear with this one. Otherwise you cannot create your classes. Whereas I can tell you with this screen, actually this Google Classroom has been entered with my institutional ID, where I cannot create my own classes. To create a class, you have to use this plus symbol in the right top corner. They provide two matters, whereas with this, I can create a class or I can join a class. This is my Google Classroom environment with my personalized personal email ID, that is @gmail.com. Whereas with the case of institution-based Gmail account, I cannot create a class unless otherwise your Google admin make you as teacher. So this is very important matter. You have to be in your mind when you are using institution-based Gmail account. So once they have make you as a teacher, then you can create a class. For this, I can maybe this one is some kind of information, and this one is classroom class name. Class name is demo class, demo 1, and section you need not to mention. Subject the virtual teaching environment, and room you may mention, or you can leave it as blank one. And I have just created. It's creating, and this is the thing. You have to be very clear whether you are using your personal email account or institution-based Gmail account. In the institution-based Gmail account, your admin has to make yourself as a teacher. By default, institution-based all the institution-based Gmail account having the role of student alone. You can join with class, but you cannot create a class. So you have to inform this class code to your student to join to your class. So this is the case, very important matter. So every class has been created with a unique class code. You have to designate this class code to your students. So I just copy this one, and in the another screen, I am using some other Gmail account. So where I just use this one to join a class. In the earlier case, I have used this create a class. So now I am going to use this one, and I am going to type the class code and click the join. So that is, this person has been joined as a student. Okay. So this is the case with regard to Google Classroom. And just see, this is the case of my pattern. So here, and this is the new class we created. There will be there was one student has been started join, and this is the student environment. So this is the student environment, and this one is the my teacher environment. So here I can create my class work, like creating assignment, quiz assignment, question and material, and a reuse post and a topic. So I can use. And the very important feature with this Google Classroom is they are embedding all their services. That is all their Google services to this Google Classroom. This is the one of the very important feature with this Google Classroom, and we can use their features. Whereas with the case of G Suite based classroom, that is the email ID having the institution based domain, you can admit as many as 1,000 students in your class, a particular class. Whereas with the case of person based, that is at the rate of Gmail kind of email ID, you can admit as many as 250 students in your class, and you can create 30 number of classes at a particular time. So this is the limits they are having, and they are having this is the stream, and so far they didn't incorporate the no our Zoom Google Meet matters to this Google Classroom, and we can expect in the later portion that they can make it as usable in Google Classroom. Here you can see who are all joined in your class, and from this portion you can directly email the particular student, or you can select, and you can remove, mute, email, and so on. These are the operations you can perform with the students. And the grades. So the grades means if you are having any classroom assignments or quiz assignment and so on, they would be in a position to answer them, and later on the manual calculation as well as automatic evaluations can be done. So their grades will be displayed here. So from this we can have a kind of grading pattern with our students. So this is what with the case of Google Classroom. And for example, you can create a thing, that is assignment means. In the assignment title, prepare an assignment and you can give instructions. These are all optional, and submit less than 10 pages, like this. And in here, this is for which classroom, and you can share this assignment to any number of classes with your environment, and you can make this assignment for a personalized one also. And this assignment can be given to all students as well as a particular student. And how much of point for this assignment? If for example I can make it as 10 means, so this assignment will be a case of 10 points, and no due date means they do not will not be a thing. And here you can pick, like in the Wednesday, that is 29th, I can make it as due date for this one, and topic no thing, and rubric means they have to think. So with this one, and I can assign them. assign this assignment to the students. So the very important thing is whenever you have created a new assignment or any kind of activity, an email will be sent to your students. This is a very important feature we can enjoy with Google Classroom environment. Because in the Google Classroom environment, they are incorporating all their services, means instantly an email will be sent to the respective students that your teacher has posted a new assignment, and with this case, and here the grade means the particular student didn't responded, so that's the case. Whereas with the case of student environment, this is the student environment. This is the student environment. Here, my classwork. I have to go to my classwork, where I can see my teacher's thing, assignment, and I can think. So this is assigned. So with this case of assigned. So view assignment. So I can make it as so, and I can create. I can create a file, or I can create a doc, or I can create a slide sheet, drawings, or I can attach a file. In this case, I'm going to attach a file. So I can make use of, I can think. So I can upload. I can browse with my local matter. So I can pick any kind of file, and where you can control them that they have to attach only the PDF files or Word files or a kind of image files and so on. And the very important thing, they have to handle. So one attachment will be submitted. They may ask confirmation message. So this is the submission of assignment, handle. I have to show it as handle. So this is one. So the student can unsubmit any time until the particular teacher has evaluated. So unsubmit, then they can change their mind, so that they can submit a new case. Whereas I can go to my teacher environment. This is teacher environment, and I can see my people, and I can see their classwork. Okay, one is I have one is turned in. So with this, I can see their classwork. So this is their and this is their thing. So I can see their responses, and I can award. I can award the marks. For example, I can, if I am awarding the marks for 9 means, so I have to click this return. So after seeing their response, so I can mark them for their performance. So, and then I have to return. Or otherwise, I can make some private comments like good and so on. So I can post it. So I have make it as 9 marks for this assignment, and the very important thing is I can return. So so this is how the particular student can submit an assignment, and this is how a teacher can evaluate that assignment. Okay, so you can think, and instantly the marks will be displayed in their student environment. So when they go for to their student environment, and they can see their see the particular response of the teacher, and they can see their marks also. So this is how very salient feature based environment we can enjoy with Google Classroom. So in the where we can you can create your tests, test objective based test or descriptive based test, and so on. So this is how you can make your environment. And not only current situation, we can practice this kind of matters in the even after receiving of our normal course of classroom, and we can enjoy by having this kind of pattern, so that the students may be instructed or may be in a position to do their works outside of the classroom. So we can make the assignments kind of matters. We can make it make use of the Google Classroom and so on, so that we can think. And another very important matter you have to be very clear with this is, first I have told you, your administrator has to make you as teacher. In the second one is, if you are creating an Google Classroom with your institutional mail ID, and a person, that is a student, having @gmail.com kind of mail ID, they cannot get enter, and they have to have same kind of domain based mail ID. So there is a solution, and again the particular Google admin has to change their class settings. They have to, who can join the class in your domain, and they can make it as kind of non-domain users. They can whitelist kind of thing. So they have to allow out of domain users. This is very important thing you have to notice when you are using a Google Classroom. If you are creating a Google Classroom with @gmail.com account, you can admit persons up to 250. If you are creating a Google Classroom with institution based, that is your institution domain mail ID, you can admit as many as 1,000 students, but your administrator, that is Google administrator, web administrator, has to allow out of domain users, so that a student having @gmail.com can enter into your classroom, which was created with mail ID your institutional domain. I think I am clear, no? Madam, am I audible?
Sir,
can you follow my screen?
Yes,
can
sir.
you follow my screen? No? Right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So with this, I think I can close the discussions with Google Classroom, and because Google Classroom is more user friendly, and the very important thing with regard to Google Classroom is the teacher has to create their class. No administrator, no student cannot can create. A teacher has to create a class, and they have to share the class code, that is unique class code, to them. Or otherwise, in the other case, you can make your fellow colleagues as your fellow teachers. Like I can invite other peoples to be a fellow collaborator with this classroom, so that I can make others to become teachers, and as well as I can send invitation links to the students so that they can also join. So this is with regard to Google Classroom, and I can devote my rest of the time with that is Moodle. Moodle is the topmost LMS software in the world. That is 20 software, Moodle, that is LMS, Learning Management System software, Moodle being top. And Moodle has been developed in 2002 with expansion of the name, modular object-oriented dynamic learning environment. And the very important and the very promising factor with this Moodle is it is a free and open source learning management system. And this Moodle has been developed with PHP and some other associating database environments like MySQL and MariaDB and so on. And they are making and giving us a open source learning environment. I have to tell you, the Moodles are having two variants. One variant, you can download the entire software and you can deploy in your web server and make it as a common for your institution. And another one is like Google Classroom. There is another variant called Moodle Cloud, where you can create whatever you done with regard to Google Classroom, you can do. But if your institution is planning to create a LMS, that is learning management system, then the first one is the Moodle has you can download the Moodle software and you can deploy in your web server. And I am going to concentrate on this one, that is how to download a Moodle software and how to deploy it and how to create a class and so on. I think I may be very fast because to finish the matter, and there are a lot of matters that is YouTube videos and learning tutorials are available in the internet, so you can my intention is just to introduce this Moodle platform to you, the fellow people, and you just see the statistics. And at present, as of now, there are more or less 1,57,000 of sites have been using this Moodle. And very important factor is India is in the second topmost country, that is Moodle has been used in their learning environment, next to USA. USA is top at 11,894 sites have been registered so far yesterday. And in India, there are 11,535 sites have been registered with Moodle. And you need not to register with Moodle. However, to expose the statistics to the gratitude that they are giving the open source, so they are voluntarily the sites have been registered with Moodle. So this is how a very strong platform you can enjoy with Moodle. And okay, there are some questions in the chat box of YouTube. I will answer in the last portion of matter. Kindly bear with me. And so I think I can have some. We can have some kind of a demo with Moodle. And the Moodle case, I'm just changing the screen. Just bear with me. So you have to sorry. Yeah. For downloading the Moodle environment and for downloading the Moodle environment and your deployment, you have to have two matters. One is XAMPP server. You have to have this XAMPP server. XAMPP server is a server where we can deploy our PHP and MySQL code. And computer science people are very familiar with this environment. So with this case, you have to download the XAMPP server, or if you are having already your website has been deployed with XAMPP server, means there is no issue of usage of your own XAMPP server. And XAMPP server for the new to persons, and I will tell you. Sorry. And you can download your XAMPP server with apachefriends.org /download.html, and you can download based upon your environment, that is Windows or Linux or OS 7, that is OS 7 for Mac PCs and laptops and so on. So you can use this one, and it comes around 150 odd megabytes. So you can download, and you can normally install like like other software. So after installing this one, you have to download the Moodle software with this thing, that is Moodle.org. You have to use Moodle.org. Moodle.org is a website of Moodle environment, so that you can go to this downloads tab and you can download. And in the July, they have released the 3.9 version, and the latest version of up to July, they have 3.9 version. So this is the Moodle 3.9. This comes around 250, more or less 250 MB of size. So you can download, and you can once you download, and I'm just changing my screen, and this is the case, and this is the zip for version you can download, that is around 70 MB of matter with Moodle latest 3.9. When you unzip matter, and you can have a Moodle, you can have a folder called Moodle, and this Moodle having so much of folders and files. You need not to worry about this matter, and you cannot install this Moodle as with exe files with other because since it is a open source matter and written in this PHP coding, so you have to deploy to your XAMPP server, and I will tell you how to deploy it with the XAMPP server. And so after that, you have to go to where the XAMPP server is stored, and the XAMPP server is stored in the C drive. I think you can follow my screen, no, madam? Madam, can you follow my screen?
Yes, sir. We are following, sir. It is very clear.
Yes, madam. And this C drive, you will have a XAMPP server, and in the XAMPP folder, you have to copy the matters in the HD docs in the Moodle. This is where you have to copy the entire Moodle folder where you have downloaded what you have downloaded from the Moodle site. You have to unzip it, and you have to when you unzip it, when you unzip it, it will become Moodle-latest some kind of version name, and after that within that you will have a Moodle folder. You just copy the entire folder, and you have to paste it in the XAMPP server, that is C:\XAMPP and HD docs. HD docs you can this is how you have to deploy your Moodle in your thing.
அதுதான் சொன்னேன் உங்ககிட்ட பார்க்க சொன்னேன். எது நான் நடிச்சு கிடக்குறேன் சம்திங் எல்லாம் ரெண்டு கிளாஸ்.
ஓகே, ஐ திங்க் ஐ கேன் கண்டினியூ. நோ
சம்திங் பெட்டர் தென் நத்திங் நம்ம கன்சல்ட் வந்துட்டேன். தெரியுமா போல தெரியுது கிளாஸ் பண்ணா டைப் பண்ணா அசைன்மென்ட் ஆஃப் தி ஃபர்ஸ்ட்.
ஓகே, I don't know who is talking, and I think I can continue. And
ma'am server சொல்லிருக்காங்க. நேம் என்ன சார் இந்த செமினாருக்கு? virtual teaching.
Okay, so this is I just changed my environment. So
online class YouTube.
So this is the XAMPP server installation, and after that, after installing your XAMPP server, and your XAMPP server should be run, and later on you have to go to your web browser and you have to type it as localhost/Moodle. So it will call the install.php file, and you have to change your, you have to choose your language. Another very important aspect with regard to Moodle is they are supporting so much of variants of languages. You can personalize with any kind of language. So later on, you have to specify where the web address and Moodle directory and data directory and so on. So these are all next, and you have to choose either MySQL or MariaDB. So this is how you can choose the database for your Moodle environment. I have chosen MariaDB, and I have to give the database settings. Then you have to go to the XAMPP server and you have to find the MySQL port where the MySQL port is running. If this port has not been used for some other applications, by default 3306 is the port number for this MySQL environment. So you have to specify this 3306 port number, and you have to click next. So I know I am just fast because due to considering the time, I am just fast, and you can have this installation guide in the internet also, and you have to click continue, and this is a very important screen you will get. So there will be a check of 3 or 4 warnings or errors when you install this Moodle platform. This is very important thing. Please listen carefully, and you have to click this check, and it leads to some guidelines, and you have to make these 3 matters in your PHP installation file in your XAMPP server. Okay, one is the extension and intl.default_local and en which that is a font kind of matter, and error level and so on. So you have to change these 3 parameters in your PHP folder. PHP folder, you can find it in the XAMPP server PHP folder. There will be a file called PHP. If you open it notepad, you can change it as these 3 parameters. Already these 3 parameters will be available in the PHP file. It may be in a kind of that is command line, that is a single means what is that, single quotes. You have to just remove the single quotes. If not available, you have to type these 3 commands in the PHP file. This is very important case. And right. So once you've done all the corrections, and it will become like this, installation is over, and finally you can continue. And this is very important thing. And And the case is where you can give the admin username and admin password. This is very important with regard to deployment of Moodle. So you have to specify the admin username and admin password. So after that you have to specify the first name and surname and email address and so on. You can follow it, and update profile. This is the admin profile. Here, this is the administrator of your Moodle environment, and this is full site name, and you can give. And very important thing is time zone. In Moodle, you have to choose Asia Kolkata time zone. You cannot find India, Chennai or plus 5:30 IST and so on. And a very important thing, please note, you have to choose the time zone as Asia/Kolkata. So this is the timeline for IST based Indian Standard Timeline based in Moodle, and you have to give your address, that is no reply address, either no reply at localhost.com or your personal mail ID can be given to this, and you have to choose this save changes. I have made some errors, so it wants something. And this is what our Moodle environment. Kindly permit me to share my another screen so that I can tell you some. I'm just changing, and since I have installed this Moodle in my own server, and yes, and I just using this localhost./Moodle thing, like localhost. If you are hit localhost alone, this is the screen where XAMPP server is being run. This is how you can verify whether XAMPP server is running or not. And after that, localhost and Moodle. Okay. So Moodle, deployment of Moodle is a kind of time-consuming process, but it's a powerful one. For your entire institution, you can manage the LMS, that is Learning Management System, with this Moodle platform. So it's a very, very powerful tool than other thing. The very important thing is you can use the entire software as free one, and you can deploy in your web server. That is where your website is being handled, the XAMPP server, and you can make it as a kind of your embedded. You can embed your this Moodle platform to your own institution website. So this is a very important thing. So I have created for this demo, I have created for our university, that is Alagappa University Learning Management System, and I have made some changes, and I will tell you. And you have to log in. You have to log in, and you have to log in. And previously I have logged in, so no problem. That is why whatever I have used, where that is where I am when I was creating this, or when I was deploying this Moodle into the XAMPP server. This is the admin username and password. And once you hit login, then you will be redirected to your environment dashboard. This is what your dashboard, that is administrator dashboard. I am just telling you whatever the dashboard is for administrator, and there will be a new or some kind of different dashboards for your teachers and your students. And this is the dashboard for the entire LMS, that is Learning Management System. And you can see the recently accessed courses, course overview, and so on. These are all the module-based things. And very important thing is you can see how many of them are in online, that is in your thing. So you can have a kind of statistics. So Moodle is a very powerful environment. You can manage so much of matters with this. Your teachers may be allowed to create their own materials, and the students can do whatever this thing. And you can create. Madam, can I take another 10 minutes of time?
Yes, sir. You will take, sir.
Yeah, thank you, madam.
Okay.
And now I am going to tell you how to create a department in this Moodle environment. In the Moodle environment, you have to create your department as category. very please note, you cannot have a name called it department and so on, and you can create this thing. First, you have to in the dashboard. I'm just going from the scratch. This is the dashboard where I can entered with this local host / Moodle, and I have entered my administrator username, password, credentials, and I have entered this one, and this is a thing. And I have to tell you, explaining of Moodle environment need at least 1 week of time. So and I cannot explain or tell you the entire things with this 30 odd minutes. So it takes time, but it is a very user friendly. You learn in your own. As a teacher, you can learn in your own. I am just introducing the matters what we can do. That is another thing. And coming to the point, in the dashboard, you will have a menu called Site Administration. You just click that Site Administration, and Site Administration, you can registration, Moodle services, and so on. And the third tab is courses. The third tab is courses. In the third tab, you can when your institution having so much of departments, so you have to create an environment for your department, each and every department. For creating an environment for courses and departments, you have to use manage courses and categories link. You have to please note to create a department and programs, that is MA, MSc, and so on. And within that courses, you have to use manage courses and categories. And this is the case of my course management thing, that is dashboard, site administration, courses, and manage course and categories. This is what. And by default, the root topmost is miscellaneous, and you need not to use this miscellaneous. So you can create your new category. Create a new category where you have to parent category. You should not use this miscellaneous, and you can use it as top. And category name is mathematics. Or I can use computer science. I can use computer science. And category ID number, I can use CS. This is for administrator purpose. And here all the programs offered under the Department of Computer Science. This is optional one, and if you want, you can use it and create category. So this is how you have to create an environment for each and every department. Now you can see, the computer science category has been created. So you can create the courses. So likewise, I have created a category, that is department called Alagappa Institute of Skill Development. I have used this ideas ASD, and within that I have created 2 programs. That is, these are subcategories. Whatever created here will be considered as category and subcategory. So you can create your program, that is department, and you can create your courses. Like within that computer science, I can create a new category. I can create a new category, and within that I can use a parent category as computer science. So this is first BSc CS. This is first BSc CS. This is I can use first CS, and I can create the category. So just see that within this computer science department, I can create a category, subcategory called first BSc CS. Before within this first BSc CS, I can create new courses. Here you just see I have created department, that is category called Alagappa Institute of Skill Development. before that, within that, I have created two subcategories. That is programs, that is offering programs. First, BO software development, and second, BO software development. And this is how many courses available in that particular subcategory, and so on. And I can create a new course. I can create a new course. The course means your paper. Course means your paper. Category means your department. Subcategory means your program, that is class. And course full name. This is a database system. Database system. This is DBS. I can create a short name, and in which subcategory, that is miscellaneous, a function of skill development, or within that the first BO software development, or first, second BO software development, computer science, or first BSc computer science. I can make it as course for first BSc computer science. So this one, course visibility is show, and course start date. That is from, I think I can make it as today onwards. From today onwards, if you enable this one, you have to mention the end date. You can make it as starting date of your semester and ending date of your semester. You can make it as this one, or you can make it as a disable one, and you can course ID number. You can make, you can use this your paper ID, no? So for example, 9 CS 1 C1, like this. I can use my paper code, that is course code as course ID number. I can describe something, and I can course image. I can use some kind of images, and within this course format. And here you have, I can choose this topic format, or single activity format means one single activity alone can be done. Social format, some kind of discussion forums. Weekly format means you can access this course only once in a week. So this is topic format, and I can make it as 5 units. No, I am having a 5 units of syllabus, so I can make it as 5 units. And so many of matters are there. You just make it as, and finally show and display means it will display, and I used save and return. So now you can see, no, first BSc computer science, within that one course, that is database system. So if you are choosing this one, then there will be a thing. So database system. If you are using this link means, yeah, you can use this. The administrator can create this one. So this is how you have to create your particular class, as well as your particular thing. So this is how you can create your class, that is, and courses in Moodle. And you can go to the dashboard and site permission. Now I will tell you how to create roles for teachers and students. That is, and go to users, and here I am already having some kind of list of users. So here I am having one my name and another user called Rajesh with this case. So I can think, no. So these are all two persons are available, right? So I can create the user's profile, and I can make it as a thing, and right, site permission, then courses. So I think you are clear with this demo of creating a student, and you can make use of this for your institution, so that you can make. So with this thing, I think I can finish my lot of matters available with this thing. So as a teacher, you can create a kind of activity for this thing. So, for example, I can go to my own environment. So this is my teacher environment I have already created. So here I can go to this course that is already available course. There I can see that is 5 topics. No, so this is unit 1 and this is unit 2, and I can assume this one. And here I can in the for the top 2, that is unit 2, I can make some kind of thing. So turn editing on. So you have to turn editing on. For the topic 2, I can add an. So here we can see plenty of activities. That is assignment. I can upload book. I can make a chat with my students, and I can upload a file, or even I can upload a folder also, and I can make some quizzes, and I can make some URLs and survey, and so much of activities I can do. Whatever I have done with Google Classroom, I can do the same with Moodle environment also. So you have, I'm requesting you all to explore the rest of the matter. So considering the time, I can I can wind up this hands-on with this one. So right. So this is what the comparison between the Google Classroom and Moodle. And Google Classroom is a web service, and whereas with the Moodle, it is both the cloud service as well as it is an open source software. Whereas with the Google Classroom, you need not to install, download, or install anything. Whereas with this Moodle, you have to download. You can download and install, or you can use as web-based, cloud-based one. And built-in Google services are made available for Google Classroom. And here also we have having plenty of plugins and development tools. And whereas with this Google Classroom, you cannot embed the matter into your institutional website. Whereas with the Moodle, you can embed the matter into your institutional website. And Google Classroom is a teacher-based. Whereas with the Moodle, it is a institution-based as well as teacher-based. And you can create a quiz, assignment, discussion forum in both the environments. And in both the environments, there is a possibility of grading. How we can track the grading of the students. And who can provide this virtual environment? I think, okay, who can provide this virtual environment? And the matter is very simple. You and me and our students. We are the stakeholders. We are the creators. We are the users. We are the everything for this virtual environment, virtual teaching environment. And what you have to consider, you have to conceive the concept. You have to frame your own methodology. Whatever I have just discussed, it is my own methodology or my own understanding. You have to create, frame your own methodology, and you have to devote time to create the learning content so that we can admire the students. So once our content is good and likable, the expectations of the students would be very much. So which deliver the concept in an interesting manner. So ultimately, our aim is to create some kind of interest among the learners, so that I can make my own environment as a student-friendly and learner-friendly. So I request you all designate the matter of use of MOOCs to the classroom, and a good use of social media applications like WhatsApp, Twitter, and other Facebook. Even Facebook can be used, LinkedIn can be used for learning, and Instagram can be used for learning. And we have to make our boys and girls to like the technology based accounts of in Facebook and LinkedIn and so on. And why we have to do all this? The answer is to survive. So survival is the very important factor. So I can tell you, we have to survive as teachers for having hold our positions in our institutions, to admire the people, that is admire the students in the community environment. I have to survive in my classroom. I have to survive each and every hour in my classroom. I have to survive in the minds of students in my classroom. Whoever attended my sessions in my classroom, I have to survive in their mind. I have to be confident to admire them. So this is what. Who can survive? So this is a very important thing. Who can survive? I can ask you. And I can quote the very important quote by Charles Darwin. It is not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the most responsive to the change will survive. Charles Darwin has told that the one most responsive to the change, that is, who can adaptive to the particular environment, who can adaptive to this COVID-19 can survive. Like this, who can adaptive with virtual teaching and learning tools can survive in this matter. So only to survive, we have to explore ourselves with this learning, teaching, learning virtual tools. And just remember the quotes of Confucius: I hear and I forget, I see and I remember, I do and I understand. And I request you all kindly practice. Practice alone makes you perfect, makes us perfect. The more we practice, the more accuracy we can gain, and which eventually lead us perform better. The very important thing, we have to be very good, strongest person in the technology environment before the students. When we fail to demonstrate our professionalism in front of students, we cannot acquire their focus. So ultimately, we have to be very clear enough, and I request you all kindly practice this virtual teaching environment. Unless otherwise we practice a lot, we cannot explore in the matter. And you can be a good professional in your institution also. And these are all the newer environments. And even though the Moodle has been is being used since 2002, and only the COVID-19 has explored a way to search for newer pedagogical environments. So so with this and thing, and what we have to do and analyze our pedagogy. We have to analyze our own pedagogy, and we have to perform SWOT analysis. That is strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. So we have to, I have to analyze my own strengths. I have to analyze my own weakness. I have to analyze the opportunities. I have to explore the threats in front of the thing, and your students, and group them. And find a better tools for pedagogy. I cannot suggest the Google Classroom is better than any other. Google Classroom is better. For instance, if you are conducting a 1 week course, that is an online course, then Google Classroom is the best tool to use your interact with your learners, registered learners. And when you are using this virtual environment for your regular students, the Google Classroom will not that much of administratable capabilities, because a particular teacher alone can create and manage the matters. The institution cannot do with that one. Whereas in the Moodle, the institution can do play a vital role. They can deploy the matter in their website server, web server, and make it as a common platform. And Google Classroom, I told 250 or 1,000 students. Here, lakhs of students can be used. Their tracking also very good. And believe in you. That is, I have to believe in my own. You have to believe your own, and work hard. Unless otherwise we work hard, we cannot survive. We cannot admire the people. We cannot make ourselves as visible to others, and have a perseverant mind. Whenever the technology has been changing, now we are having Google Classroom, Moodle. We can expect tomorrow itself we can have another platform. We have to be ready to explore the matter, having a perseverant mind, and be a professional in virtual teaching environment. So we have to work hard, we have to learn a lot, we have to explore a lot to become a professional in the virtual teaching environment. And finally, what all there is, we have to acquire the art of virtual teaching. Wherever we are very good enough with classroom teaching, I'm sure, but it is the situation where I have to, or we have to make ourselves is professional in the art of virtual teaching. Unless otherwise we make ourselves as professional, and we cannot admire the students. Okay, with this, I think I have done something to introduce the matters of Google Classroom as well as Moodle to you. This is all just an introduction. I didn't covered a lot due to lack of time and due to other things. So at this moment, I take this opportunity to thank the Sister Principal and all other administrators of Vidya College for Margani, and the organizing secretary, and the head of the Department of Computer Applications, and all the faculty members. And I have to thank and all the participants of this webinar. And I think I can take few questions. And before that, I have to answer. I think Dr. Brito sir asked how to provide a grade to students in Google Classroom in the YouTube one. And I have demonstrated, sir, where after creating your assignment, you can your students can handle. That is, you have to assign the assignment. The students have to handle. After handing, you can see their assignments, that is responses. After that, you can mark them, grade them. Grading, you can find it in the right corner, right side of your screen, and you can make some marks, and you can as well make some private comments, and you have to return. Once you click the return, the graded mark will be displayed to the students concerned. And I think I can take some questions if you are having, madam. Any questions I can take, or shall we wind up?
You will carry on, sir. If there is any questions in the chat box, you will.
I think there is.
So participants, please ask any, if you have any doubts, please clarify your doubts.
I think there will not be much questions, so that I can wind up. Okay, thank you, madam. Thanks for the opportunity. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. This is the time of giving the words of thanks. First, I thank God for successful program that ended today. I particularly thank Dr. C. Balakrishnan, Assistant Professor, Alagappa Institute of Skill Development, Alagappa University, Karaikudi. Sir, the way in which you explained were extraordinary. Thank you, sir, for your kind and enormous support. Now I want to thank Reverend Dr. C. Jyoti Mary, Principal, Reverend Dr. Sabin, Vice Principal, and our sisters to make this session as a wonderful one. I would like to thank our organizing secretary, Mrs. J. Josephine Sakaya Virgin, who contributed to organizing this FDP. Thank you, Virgin, for your endless support. Finally, I thank all the faculties and research scholars for making this event as a successful one. Once again, I thank one and all. Stay home, be safe, stay connected. Thank you.
Madam, sorry to hello.
Okay,
Hello.
sir. Okay, sir.
I think I can answer this question. Is it compulsory that we have to download Moodle for using it, or we shall use it as form of its site? There are, I think I have already told you, there are two variants. One is Moodle can be downloaded and installed in your web server, or you can use a Moodle Cloud. For using Moodle Cloud, for the first 45 days, it is free. And after that, you have to subscribe. Whereas in the case of downloading and deploying in your web server, it is completely free. So it is depends upon your institution or your own matter. So this is what. Thank you, madam. Thanks again.
Sir, shall we wind up the session?
Yes,
sir?
madam. Yes, madam. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.